Why are relationships so toxic today? And how do you spot toxicity before it's too late?
All I need for a beat is a bongo, and all that she can get from me is a combo. She love the fact that I'm the boss, head honcho, and I'm all about my bread, need it pronto.
Hi, I'm P-Lotus, and this is my music channel where I also share tips to help single men navigate this crazy world of modern dating. And in today's video, we're going to dive deep into the psychology of toxic behavior, like what makes a person toxic in most cases, and how do you protect yourself from this? So first, I want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just a person that has experience in the world, and I've dealt with a lot of different situations, and I've both have firsthand experience, and I've seen what people go through. I've seen what toxicity does to relationships. And with me being single, I know like what's out here from like being on the dating scene, and even from being in long-term relationships. I also see what the dynamics are and how hard it is to maintain a relationship. So let's start there, because when I'm talking about toxicity, it's in the frame of relationships, because you see toxicity in a lot of different forms when you are just living your life. Some people are just toxic, but we're talking about toxicity in relationships. Like, why are relationships toxic? The dynamic between men and women. So what's the root causes of it? So I really want to just explore the different aspects of what make it toxic. And I believe that is different between men and women. So in a relationship, you have a man that could be toxic, and you can have a female that could be toxic. But those two different toxics are different. Like the way that a man is toxic is different from the way that a woman is toxic. So let's think about the natural dynamics of a relationship. You got a man and a woman. We know that men and women are different. Men and women have different natures. They have different abilities. They have different strengths, different weaknesses. Men thrive more on their logic and their strength and their skills and their ability. Women thrive more on their emotions and being nurturing and being caring and being able to be resourceful. So it's a reason that we are opposite, and we're supposed to bring the dynamics to the relationship. The man is supposed to bring certain dynamics, and the woman is supposed to bring certain dynamics that make it mesh, that make it cohesive, that make it come together and work right. So in my mind, the only reason that a relationship would be toxic is if those dynamics are off balance. So why are those dynamics off balance so much now versus a long time ago where toxicity was not really even in the conversation? Those dynamics are so distorted and mixed up now because the role of a man and the role of a woman have just been like meshed together to the point society doesn't have a distinction, to where it's to the point to where you could be gender neutral now, where it's not about being a man or being a woman. It's about like how you feel on the inside. So how do we maintain healthy relationships between men and women if we really have distorted the definition of what a man is and what a woman is? And certain traits that make a man are considered toxic, but they shouldn't be. Men should have never been demonized for trying to lead, for trying to be strong, and for trying to conquer the world, because that's in our nature. So when society pushes that we shouldn't have different gender roles, where you shouldn't have a man being a man, and we don't even know, let's forget what it means for a man to be a man, or let's erase what it has always meant for a man to be a man, and now let's create a whole new definition of what a man is, and let's erase what it's always meant for a woman to be a woman, and let's create a new definition of what a woman is. I mean, of course you're going to have confusion. You're going to have interactions that are unnatural. So for example, there's a difference between it's a difference between men and women when it comes to their sexual nature as well. even their sexual biology. Okay, so I'm going a little bit deeper now. Men have a natural desire to spread their seed because that is innate in us. We have the ability to spread our seed, and we have the ability to have lots and lots of children. We have the ability to have almost an unlimited amount of children in our lifetime. But it's different for women. They are more designed to have one child, one birth at a time. So they're biologically, they're not really set up to have a lot of partners or reproduce as much as a man. So why is that? Let's just think biologically. Why is that set up like that? Why is a man able to have as many babies in a year as he can, like, has the energy to create? But a woman's body is set up to where in a year you can only have one birth. I'd like to stick to nature and biology because I don't want this to turn into me having my opinion. This is not my opinion. This is the way we were created. This is the way we were created. So that's the basis of it, right? So our sexual nature is different. The way we go about it, the way we see it. Sex is more of a sacred, it's supposed to be more of a sacred practice for women. It's supposed to be something that they have more control over, and they are the ones in control. And they are special because they have a virginity, which is something that physically men don't have a virginity. Men don't physically have a virginity that we can lose, but women have that. But it's like we don't recognize the differences between men and women. Right. So it's like that's my basis for trying to explain why men have been considered toxic for the way that they move and the way that they womanize, or the way that they will have multiple women, or the way that they cheat or objectify women. Or men have been labeled toxic for that behavior. But it's because they don't have the proper space to naturally be a man. So when they do the things that are in their nature, they either have to do it in secret, they have to hide, they have to lie, they have to cheat, they have to do all these things in order to fulfill their natural desires. The reason why it's always been like women were the victim and they had to deal with men's toxicity was because it wasn't in their nature to behave like that. Men are the ones that are supposed to be out in the world. And we're supposed to be building, we're supposed to be doing the hard work. We're supposed to be doing the hard labor, because you can tell that the woman physically, you're not set up to do the hard labor. The men should be doing the hard labor. We should be doing the working. We should be doing the discovering and the conquering and the hunting. And the women should be doing the things that don't require you to be in danger. They don't require you to do manual labor. That's what we're set up for. That's why we're bigger and stronger, because we're set up to do that. And at the same time, we're also set out to spread our seed. That's part of being a man. And society has to recognize that there are certain parts of a male nature that are just going to be there. So women, they have the natural desire to be soft. You have the natural desire to want to be provided for. That's when you're in your most feminine energy. So what society has done is it try to tell the females, it's try to tell the women that you should do everything that the man does. Not just having multiple sex partners, but you should also go out and work. You should also be responsible for bills. You should also be able to do manual labor, and you should also be able to provide for your kids, and you don't need a man. So that's what society tells you. So society has stripped you from your natural nature of being a woman, of what you were really put here to do. It was really, you are all the way in your purpose when you find a man that is doing what he's supposed to do, and you're able to help that man achieve whatever he needs to achieve. That way, as a family unit, you all be successful. But society doesn't push that family unit because they want women to be independent women, and I guess they just want men to be single because they don't want the family structure. Because guess what? That's where all the power comes from. The power comes from family structure. So that's why the influence is so strong for women to feel like they don't need men. And then for men to be feminized to the point that we are doing whatever we can do to get any woman because they've conditioned the women to not even want to deal with men or feel like they don't need us. So they have men in a desperate state, a thirsty state, doing whatever they could do to get some type of female interaction. Then you have women in a powerful state where they are really in control and they've been influenced to be sexually empowered to now they are not even using men for the original role that men were supposed to be used for, because now women are out in the world doing the things that men do, the same things that men do. So if women are in the world doing the same things that men do, what does a woman really need a man for besides sexual gratification, besides reproduction? So that's what we've been reduced to. We've been reduced to women who only need men for sexual reproduction. So there's no value in that. And what do we really value in a woman? We value a woman that's pure, a woman that hasn't had a lot of partners. We value a woman that is going to be loyal to us. So we can't find that because women have been sexually empowered to just do whatever they want to do whoever they want to do. And we tell women, society tells women that it doesn't matter. Like, your value doesn't come from being pure. They say they want women to believe that their value comes from the same place that a man values come from. So there's just so much confusion. So now let's look at what a relationship looks like. When you have a man that's been feminized and his power has been taken away, and then you have a woman who's been empowered to the point she has more power, to the point she has power over the man, because not only does she have control over sex, she doesn't have any need from the man to do any of the provision, because society has pushed her to behave like a man and be able to get out here and provide for herself. So you have both people who are unfulfilled because you have a man that he can't really play his proper role as a provider for the woman, because society has put him in a position to where he's pretty much equal, because the women are getting the same opportunities, the same jobs, and doing everything that the man is supposed to do. So he doesn't feel fulfilled in the relationship. Therefore, he's feminized and he doesn't have a power. He doesn't have a power position. So with him feeling like that, he's lacking. He's insecure. He's less than a man how he feels. Even though he might operate like a man, inside, he's a boy. And with her, at the same time, she's not in her proper feminine dynamic. Why? Because she can't respect a man that can't provide more than what she's able to do, because the way society got it set up is to where she can provide everything for herself. So the natural dynamic that's supposed to attract men and women is not there no more. It's not like I'm big and strong and you're weak and smaller, so we go good together because I can protect you and you can also take care of the home. But that dynamic is all split up and broken up into pieces because everything's confused now. Like, we don't have a definition for what a man is. We don't have a definition for what a woman is. The genders don't matter. Women can do everything that men do. Men can do everything that women do. Like, that is what made things toxic. Because now in the relationship dynamic, a woman can't really be a woman and a man can't really be a man. So there's that constant bumping of heads. And I jumped all the way to there because that's where we're at now.